All right, so get this. We've gotten tons of messages about Osher, the astrologer.
Yeah, Pluto in Aquarius beepers and Bitcoin.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Especially with the U.S. elections going how they did.
Everyone's buzzing about Osher's predictions.
Are you ready to dive into Osher's world?
Let's do it.
See how his Astro finance method is playing out in real time?
I think it's wild how he's been calling these major events months in advance.
Like back in July.
When everyone thought the election was a done deal,
Mm-hmm.
Osher was already looking at Trump's astrological charts.
I mean, they showed.
That he had like a really strong destiny.
Particularly with this alignment with his North Node.
Yeah, the North Node is a really key point in astrology that points to your soul's path and purpose.
Interesting.
And he was also saying that Biden's chart just showed this like weakness.
An inability to hold on to leadership.
Yeah.
At the time, it sounded pretty out there.
It did.
But then Biden drops out.
And then you have that whole assassination attempt on Trump.
Which really threw everything into chaos. And then Osher's July prediction about the Capricorn full moons signaling political unraveling.
Starts to look pretty spot on.
It does.
Yeah, those full moons really seem to kick off a chain reaction.
They did.
And now with Trump back in the White House, Osher's take on this being a shift towards a more digital, maybe even authoritarian future is definitely something to think about.
It's food for thought, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about Osher's Astro finance method.
Okay.
He predicted Bitcoin's October correction.
Yes.
And then it surged to new highs in November.
Mm-hmm.
So how is he connecting the dots between planetary movements and market trends?
He uses these things called live charts.
Okay.
They're super detailed and show potential market movements based on planetary positions and astrological events.
Perfect example.
For example, he pinpointed October as a key stabilization point for Bitcoin based on the position of certain planets. And sure enough, Bitcoin dipped and then skyrocketed.
So it's like he had a sneak peek into the future of the market. Hold on. Need a little astrology 101 here.
Okay.
How can the stars actually influence something like Bitcoin?
It's not that the stars are like directly controlling the market.
Right.
It's more that they reflect these broader energetic cycles that influence human behavior.
Okay.
So Osher's basically saying that the market isn't this totally random system, but one that operates within these predictable cosmic rhythms.
Got it. So by tuning into those rhythms, we can get a better understanding of how things might play out.
Exactly.
So Osher's not just reading tea leaves here.
No, not at all.
He's looking at...
He's looking at Bitcoin's natal chart.
Which is...
Like its astrological birth certificate.
Oh, interesting.
Along with the positions of planets at specific times and key astrological events like eclipses. So he weaves all of this together to create these live charts, which can indicate potential entry and exit points for investors.
It's mind-blowing how he combines ancient wisdom with modern finance.
I know, it's really fascinating.
You know what else is fascinating?
What is it?
The beepers situation.
Oh, yeah.
With the Israel-Hezbollah conflict.
Okay.
Like, you'd think in our hyper-connected world, beepers would be a relic of the past.
Totally.
But Israel was using them
For communication.
during those operations.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Osher sees a deeper meaning there.
He does.
I think he's connecting it to this idea of simplicity and reliability. Especially with the Pisces eclipses coming up in 2025.
Right.
Pisces eclipses.
What are those all about?
Those sound pretty intense.
I do.
What's the significance there?
So Pisces is all about intuition, adaptability, and sometimes like choosing unconventional methods when the usual systems fail.
Okay.
So those eclipses could signal a need to simplify, adapt, and be resourceful.
Especially with technology.
Almost like a cosmic push to reassess our reliance on these like complex systems.
Wow, so maybe those beepers were more than just a tactical choice.
Maybe.
They were a sign of the times.
It's possible.
That's what's so interesting about Osher's analysis.
I agree.
He's not just looking at the surface level of things.
Right.
He's looking at the symbolic, meaning the underlying energy, and how it all ties into these larger astrological cycles.
And the crazy part is it's all playing out right in front of us.
It really is.
Yeah. And it's not just these geopolitical events. Remember when we talked about Osher linking Bitcoin's rise to Pluto's transit through Capricorn?
Yeah.
So Pluto is all about transformation and power. And it's been in Capricorn, the sign of institutions and structures for a while now.
Yeah.
And Osher saw this final phase of Pluto in Capricorn as coinciding with like a peak in those old systems.
Almost like a last gasp before things start to shift. I'm starting to see the connection.
Yeah.
So while the old financial guard is clinging to control, Pluto's move into Aquarius is like the universe saying,
time for a change.
And Bitcoin, with its decentralized nature, it's right into that new paradigm.
Exactly. Osher believes this shift towards decentralization is going to be huge.
Really?
And it's not just about money.
No.
It's about power, who controls the systems that govern our lives.
It's about everything.
Pluto in Aquarius could bring a dismantling of traditional power structures.
Wow.
A rise in social movements, a real push for individual freedom and autonomy.
So those live charts we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
are they showing any clues about how this might play out? What's Osher seeing for 2025?
Well, he's definitely not sugarcoating things.
What's he saying?
He's calling 2025 a year of major transition, maybe even chaos.
Chaos.
Pluto officially enters Aquarius, which only happens every 248 years.
That's a long time.
So that's a big one.
It is a big one.
Plus, we have those Pisces and Virgo eclipses.
Right.
Which could create a real tug-of-war between idealism and practicality.
A cosmic tug-of-war.
I like that.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So on one hand, we have this push for innovation and disruption, this dismantling of old systems.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we're going to have to confront reality, figure out how to actually ground those big ideas in practical action.
It's going to be a balancing act for sure.
It is.
And Osher's not just sitting back and watching the show.
Right.
He's got this whole go forth message.
Go forth.
Urging people to embrace the change.
Okay.
To step outside their comfort zones and become active creators of their own destinies.
I like that.
He believes that those who cling to the old ways will be left behind.
What about those of us who are feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this?
Yeah.
What are some practical steps we can take to navigate this transition?
Well, Osher's a big believer in personal empowerment through understanding your astrological birth chart.
Okay.
It's like this unique blueprint of your strengths, challenges, and your potential life path,
Thanks,
including your financial tendencies.
So it's not just about following general predictions.
Right.
It's about understanding how these cosmic cycles are going to affect me personally.
Exactly. Certain planetary placements can indicate like a predisposition towards financial abundance, while others might suggest areas where you need to be more cautious.
I see.
By understanding your own chart, you can start to make more informed decisions that are aligned with your unique energetic makeup.
So how do I even begin to understand my birth chart?
Wow.
It all seems so complicated.
It can seem daunting at first.
Yeah.
But there are tons of resources available online, and Osher himself offers personalized readings.
Oh, cool.
He breaks it down in a way that's easy to grasp, even for beginners.
Okay.
Plus, once you have like a basic understanding of your chart, you can start to pay attention to the transits.
Your transits?
That's the ongoing movement of planets through the zodiac and how they interact with your natal placements.
Wait, so the planets are constantly moving?
They are.
And their positions can actually affect my life?
Yes.
How does that work?
Think of it like this. As planets move, they form different geometric angles to the planets in your birth chart. These angles create specific energies and influences that can manifest in different areas of your life, including your finances.
So, for example, if a planet is transiting over, say, my money zone, that could signal a time of financial opportunity.
Right.
Or maybe a challenge.
You got it. And that's where Osher's life charts come in.
Okay.
He's tracking these transits in relation to specific assets, giving you real-time insights into the potential energy and direction of the market.
So it's like having a cosmic heads up about what might be coming your way.
Exactly.
That's incredible. It's like he's created this fusion of ancient wisdom and modern technology.
I know.
To help us make sense of this crazy world.
Yeah, and it's all about empowerment.
Right.
It's not about predicting doom and gloom.
No.
But about understanding the potential challenges and opportunities that lie ahead so we can make informed choices.
This is blowing my mind a little.
I know, right?
So we've got these major global shifts happening, this cosmic tug of war between the old and the new.
Yeah.
What's Osher's overall take on how this is going to play out in the financial realm?
Well, he's definitely bullish on digital currencies.
Right.
Bitcoin. He sees them as playing a key role in this transition to a more decentralized future.
Interesting.
He's been saying for years that Bitcoin represents more than just a new form of money.
What else does it represent?
It's a symbol of a shifting paradigm.
And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, the sign of technology and disruption,
Right.
It seems like the stage is set for those digital currencies to really take center stage.
Yeah, it does.
But what about the traditional systems? What happens to those?
Osher believes they're going to continue to weaken as Pluto moves further into Aquarius. He sees a real possibility of those old power structures crumbling,
Wow.
creating more space for decentralized alternatives to emerge.
That's a bold prediction. I mean, are we really talking about the collapse of the financial system as we know it?
It's certainly a possibility, and one that a lot of analysts are starting to consider.
Wow.
Osher's not saying it's a certainty,
Okay.
but he's urging people to be prepared.
Wow.
He's saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Okay.
Diversify your assets, explore alternative options, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
He's definitely not shying away from the big questions.
He's not.
And, you know, for someone who's predicting potential chaos,
Right.
he's remarkably optimistic about the future.
That's because he sees this as an opportunity for positive change. He believes this shift towards decentralization could lead to a more equitable and sustainable world.
Okay.
A world where power is distributed more evenly.
Yeah.
And individuals have more control over their own lives.
It's a compelling vision.
It is.
All this talk about the future is making me wonder about the present. What's Osher's advice for navigating the here and now, especially when it comes to our finances?
Well, he's a big advocate for financial literacy and taking a proactive approach to managing your money.
So it's not just about understanding the cosmic cycles.
Right.
It's also about taking practical steps to ensure our financial well-being.
That's right. It's about educating yourself, making informed decisions, and not being afraid to ask for help when you need it.
It sounds like a balanced approach,
It is.
blending ancient wisdom with modern know-how to create a more empowered and resilient financial future.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about Osher's work.
Yeah.
It's not just about predicting the future. It's
Right.
about giving people the tools and insights they need to create their own destinies.
Feels like we're on the edge of something huge.
It does.
All these events, these global shifts,
Mm-hmm.
and Osher's predictions about 2025.
Yeah,
It's both exhilarating and a little daunting.
I agree. It is a time of profound transformation.
It is.
And as we've been talking about, this energy is rippling through every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
Especially the financial realm.
Crucial.
And the key takeaway here is that we have agency.
We do.
We're not just passive passengers on this cosmic roller coaster.
Right.
We have the power to choose how we navigate these changes.
That's a really empowering perspective.
It is.
Speaking of empowerment, let's bring it back to personal action.
Okay.
So besides understanding our birth charts and those planetary transits, are there any other specific financial strategies that Osher recommends
Let me think.
for aligning with these cosmic cycles?
He's a big believer in tuning into the energy of specific astrological events.
Oh.
For example, he might advise caution during a Mercury retrograde period, which is known for communication breakdowns and technological glitches.
Oh, right.
So maybe hold off on signing important contracts or making like major financial decisions then.
So it's like checking the cosmic weather forecast before making any big moves.
Exactly.
It's a good way to think about it.
And when it comes to investments, he encourages people to look beyond traditional markets.
And explore those that are aligned with that emerging Aquarian energy.
Sure.
Things like cryptocurrencies,
Yeah.
decentralized finance, and even investments in innovative technologies that promote sustainability and social good.
So we're not just talking about financial gain here.
No.
We're talking about aligning our investments with our values,
Yeah.
contributing to a better future.
That's the beauty of this approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about maximizing profits.
Yeah.
It's about creating a more holistic and meaningful relationship with money.
I like that.
It's about understanding that our financial decisions have these ripple effects. And by aligning them with our highest intentions,
Yeah.
we can contribute to positive change on both a personal and collective level.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
It's like we've peeled back the layers of reality and glimpsed this whole new way of understanding the world,
Yeah.
especially the financial landscape, as we
So
wrap up.
what's like the one message you hope our listeners take away from this conversation?
I think the most important message is that we're not alone in this.
We're not.
We're all part of this grand cosmic dance.
I like that.
And while the future may seem uncertain, we have the wisdom of the stars,
Yeah.
the power of our own intuition,
Right.
and the support of each other to guide us through.
You got us through.
Osher's work reminds us that we have the power to create a future that's not just financially abundant,
Right.
but also aligned with our deepest values and aspirations.
So beautifully said. It's about tuning into those cosmic rhythms.
Yes.
Embracing change. And stepping into our power as conscious creators of our own destiny.
Exactly. And remember, as Osher would say, go forth.
Go forth.
Embrace the journey and trust that even amidst uncertainty, the universe has your back.
That's a good one to end on. Thank you for joining us on this incredible exploration of astrofinance.
It was my pleasure.
We hope it's inspired you to look beyond the surface, to explore new perspectives.
Yes.
And to step boldly into the future, guided by the wisdom of the stars.